welcome to another video. I'm Ben Jenks. I was thinking back about my time here in India. I came in November of 2018, and with the lockdown happening currently, there's something weird happening in India that's making me reflect. All visas for foreign nationals who aren't in India have been suspended, and all visa holders are supposed to leave 30 days after international travel starts again, which means that if India doesn't allow people back in, my time in India will be over for an indefinite period of time until India opens up its borders again. And it has me thinking about my time here and wondering how the experiences I've had might help someone else travel in India and have a great time. So in this video, I'm gonna cover the things that I've loved and the things that I've also hated or disliked, or maybe they weren't the greatest. Quick break in the video. If you're interested in traveling to India and you're looking for some inspiration and some practical tips, please subscribe to my channel. Click the bell right next to it to get notifications, and we'd love to have you a part of our community. Now let me just start by saying I've been in India for 533 days when I could have left many times. So obviously, I am loving India. It has been such a unique experience and way more positive than negative. That being said, there have been some things that on a given day I might be ready to fly out because they can be extremely annoying. But let's start with the positives. So first off, let's start with practical stuff like the cost of living here in India. And I broke it down in a video called How Cheap is Traveling India? How cheap is travel in India today? And with average prices, I did a lot of research for that video. So you can see more in depth in that video. But I'll just basically say that I can rent an apartment that I'm very happy with for $160 US and get some beautiful views of a mountain, and I have internet that allows me to work online. And I think for some digital nomads and creative types who might want to have a lower cost of living to work on something they're more passionate about, I think India is an amazing place for that. I don't think enough digital nomads think it's possible, which is part of the reason why I'm making these videos. Another thing that I love in India is that I can rent a bike like this for about 45 bucks a month. If I wanted to buy a bike like this, probably 600 bucks. I could get a used one. Transportation in India, what I love is that it's a bit like being a kid again and just driving off in the forest near my house. I always wanted a go-kart as a kid, and I feel like where I live, it's kind of like having your own go-kart with these dirt roads, and you got your motorbike, and there's not straight roads that just go for a mile and another road that goes for a mile. These roads go everywhere. On the other side of things, it's nice and quiet and a beautiful drive out where I am here. However, even in the small city that I live in, it is a pain in the to drive into the city sometimes, and to be bumper to bumper bumping handlebars with other drivers and cars beeping at you, trucks and buses coming inches from you. It feels like you're about to die at any second, and maybe it's just because I'm not used to that. One thing that is super impressive is how chill drivers are often in India. Not always, but often it's like nothing really bothers them. They could be in a huge traffic jam, inches from a huge semi-truck about to barrel into them, and they're just cool, blinker on, just waiting their turn. It's also tough because when you want to get somewhere, the amount of time it takes because of the roads and the traffic, it just takes a long time. There's a place that's maybe like 100 miles away, and it takes 3 to 4 hours to get there. All right, the traffic in India rant is over. Let's talk about something else that I love. I love that India has so much interesting stuff to look at. For instance, I'm at this beautiful point where you can look out on this lake bed that sometimes fills with water. You can look at the local mountain. But there's just these shrines and idols here that they've dressed up with little dresses. Compared to India, America is boring as is so boring. And America has some beautiful places. I love America. But India is far beyond. Wherever you go in India, there is interesting stuff to look at. Let me just take you around this little place to show you some examples. Okay, we got this little pig sculpture here with a flower. We got Ganesh, a popular Hindu god. This is a lingam, which translates as penis. Couple snakes. Another sculpture of a guy with a beard. Without even trying, very close by, I saw a number of other shrines and temples. Another thing I love about India is the people. Well, love and can be slightly annoyed by. I love that people are everywhere. People are used to people being everywhere, and at some points it's beautiful to see so many people living close together and being so tolerant of each other. I love that as a street photographer, I can go out in the morning and just see people all the time and have so many different opportunities to interact with people and take photographs of people. And I'm like one of the least annoying people on the street, you know, compared to the people trying to sell you something, trying to ask you for money. On the flip side of that, when I'm tired or I just don't want to deal with people, the amount of people you have to deal with on a daily basis is overwhelming.
Hi, my friend. How are you?
Hello, good. One thing I love, obviously, is the chai.
Sugar, my friend, sugar.
Little sugar. Place like this, 20 rupees for a big glass of chai, ginger chai, best in town. And this is India for me. Having a chai and sitting on the street, and it's still locked down, but apparently, you guys open now? Open?
Yeah, today open.
Today? Okay, first day? Okay. Big glass.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss. Bottoms up. Woo. One thing I love about India is the negotiation. I feel like the USA is boring like going to Walmart, and India is like a street market. You're haggling, you're negotiating. At times you're gonna pay a higher price and you always gotta be on your toes. But it can be fun, and most of the people you're haggling with, it's their normal life basically, so they're used to it and they have sort of, it can be like a game. Let's talk about the food now. The restaurants aren't really open here in India yet because it's the lockdown, so I can't go in and show you. However, this place I ate at every day when I first came to India, and I paid like $2 or $2.50 for masala dosa, which is the local traditional dish, like a savory pancake with a potato curry inside with some chutneys. I had 3 eggs, a chai, and a parota, which is this chewy tortilla-like thing. And again, that was like $2, $2.50, and good quality food. I love the food in India. I can't wait to explore different parts of India because I know there's so much regional diversity. I've been to a number of places in India, but I feel like I'm just getting started. I can't wait to go other places, like spending more time in Delhi, Mumbai, Goa, Jaipur. Where should I go? Please put recommendations in the comments. I've been to places like Agra, saw the Taj Mahal, Agra Fort, and some other places there. I went to the erotic temples in Khajuraho. I went to Varanasi, and I'd love to spend more time there. We went down to Kerala, which I would also like to spend more time in and see some of the beaches there and spend more time on the backwaters. India has such unique destinations. Like, where can you see this tomb that was built with millions of dollars, or what would be millions of dollars now? Or where can you see a city that was started by a god or founded by a god according to the legend? Or what about the backwaters with just thousands of miles of beautiful waters and rivers and peace? There is not another place in the world like India. Another thing that I love about India is the weather. Now, I also hate it, especially this time of year because it's March. I am sweating and it is like 9 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning right now. However, I love that I don't have a jacket, I never wear shoes, haven't been cold in 533 days. And as a guy who came from Michigan where it snows for like 6 months out of the year, I just like the hot weather mentality too. That life is a bit slower, that life is a bit chiller, that people are less go, 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 and are more like, hey, let's have a siesta, it's nap time. I could do without 110 degree or 40 degree days though. I love that India allows 10-year, 5-year visas for American citizens and other nationalities. And when it comes to visas, it's relatively simple to get. However, their website to get the visa is complex. And there are some aspects of it that I cannot stand. I've had friends who would rather pay money to have someone help them get the visa than go through the process of doing it themselves.
In the India website, I would enter all the information. And they ask you like, what countries have you been to in the last 10 years? And you know, it's been a fair few. And then I would go to the next page and then all of a sudden everything would be deleted. So then I'd be like, okay, I'll enter the information again. And then it wouldn't save properly, or you couldn't go back to the proper page to fill in things. And it never worked for me. I could never get it to go. So I'll pay the 20 bucks. iVisa, they sort it all out. They are actually really good. And if there's any problems, then they will sort it out. And they'll send you an email like, hey, we need a different sort of picture. And then that way they make sure that you actually get the visa and you get all the documents that you need.
If you're interested in that, I have a link to the service below to help you get your visa to India.